All right, morning, ladies and gentlemen. Standing before you is Miss Mashiloane from the Logistics Department at Vaal University of Technology, Vanderbilt Park campus. Today we're looking at Business Management 1.1, Chapter 3, the Task of Management. Now, previously we looked at the business environment. Now we're just going to look at the task of management as to what is it that the management, or rather even the manager, does within the organization. Now, just to give you an overview, what you need to know is that the role of management increasingly includes all levels of management in the business. And then now, most importantly, managers must fulfill the various management tasks and also act as leaders, but employees should also now take responsibility for managing themselves, because now everyone has to take, or rather even do their part. Now, when we are talking of management, we're taking the process of coordinating work-related activities so that the people performing them complete these activities effectively and efficiently so. Now, when we are talking of a manager now, this is a person who has been appointed in a managerial position in an organization and who has this certain responsibility to carry out. And then now, the most important thing that you need to know is that managers and employees need to work together to, 1, develop plans and objectives, 2, structure tasks in a sensible way, and then also to act in an organized structures while considering authority, and then also to motivate each other, and then obviously communicate clearly, and then also to develop and act according to the set performance standards. And then now, effectiveness of a manager lies in his or her ability to, 1, maintain a favorable work environment, create opportunities for all employees to perform at their best, and obviously act as a leader, and then also to communicate continuously with other employees and also to motivate them. And then finally, to acknowledge and reward good performance considering the limited resources, because remember, employees need also to feel appreciated. And then now we're going to look at the levels of management. There are actually 3 levels of management. We have what we refer to as top-level management, we have middle management, and we also have what we refer to as first-level management. Now, when we are talking top-level management, they're actually responsible for the overall direction of the organization, while also developing and communicating the organization's vision and mission statement. And then they are actually responsible for long-term planning within the organization. And then we're looking at your middle management, and then this is actually made up of department heads, your functional managers, as well as your project managers who have a good understanding of the overall organizational strategy. And then they're actually responsible for middle-term planning. And then we're looking at the last layer, which is your first level management. And then now they actually implement all the strategic plans sent through to them via your middle managers from top managers. And they actually take responsibility for operational planning, which means they are responsible for production of goods and provision of your services. Meaning your first level management, they're actually responsible for the day-to-day running of the organization. And then now we're looking at your different management tasks. Now the first one, we have what we refer to as planning, which is deciding in advance what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and who is supposed to do it. And then we're looking at organizing, which is restructuring or structuring, coordinating, and directing of an organization's resources in order to achieve the set objectives. And then we're looking at leading, which is directing, guiding, and motivating employees to achieve the goals of the organization. And then obviously with your motivation, this is the act of influencing employees so it cause to channel and also sustain certain goal-directed behaviors. And remember, every employee should actually ensure self-motivation. You can't just come to work and be like waiting for people to motivate you. And then we also have the last one, controlling, which is the process of developing performance standards according to the set objectives developed during the planning process. Because remember, when we do the planning, or rather when the journey begins. We start by planning. We're mapping out the route as to where are we going as an organization and what is it that we want to achieve. And then now when we control, we're actually checking whether are we on the same route that we initially planned as to this is what we want to achieve and everything. And then now we're looking at your different areas of management. We have what we refer to as production and operations managers. And then we have logistics managers. We have your information technology managers. We have your financial managers. We have your HR managers. We have your marketing managers, your PR managers, as well as your administrative managers. Now, obviously, with your production or operations managers, remember we touched on that on the very first chapter. We said that, okay, these are with your managers or your production managers, they are actually responsible for making sure that we have all the necessary raw materials within the organization to make sure that the production goes on. And then we have the necessary products that we need to sell to our customers. And then when we're taking your logistics managers, they're actually responsible for making sure that the right products are available within the organization or even the business, right quality products for that matter, and making sure that the right products are delivered to the right customers at the right time and at the right place and the right price, of course. And then information technology managers, they are responsible for technological matters within the organization. And then in your financial managers, of course, they are responsible for financial matters, again, within the organization. Your HR managers, they are responsible for hiring, recruiting, whatever, within the organization. And then marketing, they are responsible for making sure that the organization is actually well represented, the products are well known by the customers, the targeted audience. And then in your public relations managers, of course, they maintain the good image of the business. And then administrative managers, they're responsible for administrative issues within the business. And then now we're looking at the different management skills. Now we have what we refer to as conceptual skills. We have what we refer to now as human skills, as well as your technical skills. Now, when we're talking your conceptual skills, managers actually use these skills to understand abstract ideas so that they can actually consider various possible solutions to a problem or opportunity before selecting the best solution. And then now when you're looking at your human skills, managers actually use these skills to understand and change the attitude and behavior of individuals or groups, and also resolve conflicts among the employees. And then with your technical skills, managers actually apply these when they use job-specific knowledge and techniques to perform an organizational role. Sorry. And then now we're just going to go through our management competencies. And then we're looking at the first one. Obviously, as a manager, you need to actually have communication skills, both written or oral. Because obviously, as a manager, you need to communicate with different people. You need to interact with your employees, you need to interact with customers, you need to interact with suppliers, whatsoever. So you need to have both written or oral communication. And then self-management, meaning you have to be personal, effective, you need to have self-control, you need to be disciplined, and you also need to be resilient. And then we also, again, we're looking at organizational ability, meaning you have to have organizational awareness and also be able to delegate. And then we're looking at influence. Of course, as a manager, you need to have impact on others. You need to be a motivator. And then again, you need to show leadership to a certain extent. And then again, we're looking at teamwork. Of course, as a manager, you need to be a team member. And then again, you need also to display team leadership as well. And then now we're looking at your different management roles. Now, when we are talking of management roles, this is actually a set of specific tasks or behaviors that a person is actually expected to perform because of the position he or she holds within an organization. Now, we have categories of management roles. We actually have three categories of management roles. We're looking at your decisional roles, we're looking at your interpersonal roles, and we also have what we refer to as information roles, which we'll actually get into on the next slide. Now, when we are talking of decisional roles, we're talking here, managers are actually exposed to a variety of problems and opportunities, and they need to make decisions about them. Now, we're going to quickly look at the sub-roles of your decisional roles. Obviously, you need to be an entrepreneur, and then you also have to be a disturbance handler, you need to be a good negotiator, and then of course, you need to be a very good resource allocator, meaning you have to make decisions along those sub-roles. And then we're looking at our interpersonal roles, and then here managers take up their interpersonal roles in order to interact with people, to coordinate and supervise organizational employees, and also give direction to all organizational members. And then now we're just going to quickly look at the sub-roles of decisional roles. Of course, you need to be a figurehead, and then you need also to be a leader, and then again, you need also to be a liaison person, meaning that if people want to communicate with certain people, they can easily come or easily approach you per se. And then in information roles, we're looking at information roles. It is said here, successful managers access, interpret, and provide information to all relevant parties at the exact moment when this information is needed to maximize an opportunity. Because remember now, if probably you'd actually communicate information when it's not necessary, or even after it has probably an incident has occurred, it won't be of any use. So it is very important to communicate relevant information at the exact moment when the information is actually needed to maximize the opportunity. Sorry. Now we're looking at your sub-roles of decisional roles. First one, you need to be able to be a monitor. And then again, you have to be a disseminator. And then again, lastly, you have to be a spokesperson. You have to display those skills. And then basically, this brings us to the end of our chapter. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.